Hi and welcome back. As you can see, our today's topic is about compound complex sentence. We've talked about the simple, the compound, the complex, and now compound complex. I hope you're ready. So let's get started. This can be defined as a sentence that consists of two or more main clauses, that is independent clauses, and one or more subordinate clauses. Now let's have examples. You see, like here, the phone rang, but he did not pick the call because he was sleeping. If you take a look at the phone rang, that is an independent clause. It can stand alone as a sentence. Now you've got but. But is a coordinating conjunction. He did not pick the call can stand alone as a sentence. Because he was sleeping is a subordinate clause. So we say this is a compound complex sentence. The phone rang, but he did not pick the call because he was sleeping. So this is a compound complex sentence. The phone rang, an independent clause. He did not pick the call, an independent clause. Because he was sleeping, a subordinate clause. The students passed their exams and the teachers praised them when they saw them. The students passed their exams is an independent clause and is a coordinating conjunction. The teachers praised them is an independent clause, can stand alone as a sentence. Then when they saw them is a subordinate clause. So we say this is a compound complex sentence. You want to be rich, yet you don't work because you are lazy. You want to be rich is an independent clause, yet is a coordinating conjunction. You don't work is an independent clause. So because you are lazy is a subordinate clause. So you've got an independent clause and another independent clause. And the last is a subordinate clause. So you have a compound complex sentence. I hope it's not difficult to understand. Let's have more examples. Before you sleep, brush your teeth, but don't use your brother's brush. So before you sleep is a subordinate clause. Brush your teeth is an independent clause. Don't use your brother's brush is an independent clause. So you see you've got a dependent clause, an independent clause, and another independent clause. We say this is a compound complex sentence. When you have enough money, eat a balanced diet, for it is good. When you have enough money is a subordinate clause. Eat a balanced diet is an independent clause. It is good too is an independent clause. For is a coordinating conjunction. So you see you've got a subordinate clause, an independent clause, and another independent clause. We say this is a compound complex sentence. While I was going home, I met my friend, but he did not recognize me. While I was going home is a subordinate clause. I met my friend is an independent clause, but is a coordinating conjunction. He did not recognize me is an independent clause. That is, it can stand alone as a sentence. So you say this is a compound complex sentence. I love my teacher, so I greet him whenever I see him. I love my teacher is an independent clause. I greet him is an independent clause. You see, so is a coordinating conjunction. Whenever I see him is a subordinate clause. So this is a compound complex. But you remember, two or more independent clauses and one or more subordinate clauses. Good. Eat your food, but don't drink the water because it is not clean. Eat your food is an independent clause. Don't drink the water is an independent clause because it is not clean is a dependent dependent clause. So we say this is a compound complex sentence. He has not called his friend, for they have not met since they attended my wedding, as an example. So he has not called his friend is an independent clause. They have not met is an independent clause. Since they attended my wedding is a dependent clause. So this is a compound complex. There's like three more examples. When we were students, we used to play after closing, but some of my friends would go home. So you see, when we were students is a subordinate clause. We used to play after closing is an independent clause. But is a coordinating conjunction. Some of our friends would go home is an independent clause. So we say this is a compound complex sentence. If you are honest, people will respect you, for honesty is a very good quality. So if you are honest is a dependent clause, people will respect you is if you are honest is a dependent clause, people will respect you is an independent clause. For is a coordinating conjunction. Honesty is a very good quality is an independent clause. So we say this is a compound complex sentence. I hope the topic is not difficult. Now here what we are going to have is we'll have sentences, then we group them into being a simple, a compound, a complex, or a compound complex sentence. Now for example, all of the students and the teachers are late for the annual spelling bee competition. Now you see, even though the words, you have many words here, you have all of the students and the teachers are late for the annual spelling bee competition. You have many words, but if you have a look at it very well, what you see is that it is one independent clause that we have. It's only that you say you have the subject is not one in number. You've got two subjects, so the subject is not one. You have all of the students, you have the teachers. So all of the students and the teachers are late for the annual spelling bee competition is one independent clause that you have. So for that, this is a simple sentence. He is her father, yet he doesn't help her because she doesn't obey him. See, he is her father, independent clause, yet coordinating conjunction. He doesn't help her, an independent clause, because she doesn't obey him is a subordinate clause. So you should be able to remember that this is a compound complex sentence. You've got two independent clauses here and a dependent clause. What are the good qualities of a leader? You should be able to remember that this is a main clause, because talking about the main clause, you've got declarative, interrogative, exclamatory, and imperative. So this is interrogative. It is one independent clause that you have. Say this is a simple sentence. Your friends are loyal to you. Your friends are loyal to you. You should be able to know that this is a simple sentence because it is one independent clause that you have. We study well. We study well, for we are good students. So you've got we study well, an independent clause. We are good students, another independent clause. For is a coordinating conjunction. So for that, we say that this is a compound sentence. You should sign out before you leave, but don't do overtime today. So you see, you should sign out is an independent clause. Before you leave is a dependent clause. Don't do overtime today is an independent clause, but is a coordinating conjunction. So we say that this is a compound complex sentence. You see, you've got two independent clauses and a subordinate clause, but you remember you can have is two or more independent clauses and one or more two or more independent clauses and one or more subordinate clauses. What a nice watch you have. This is exclamatory. It's one independent clause you have. So you say that this is a simple sentence. I'm helping you, so you should obey me. So I'm helping you is an independent clause. You should obey me is an independent clause. So we say that this is a compound sentence. Just give me a call when you are ready for our trip. Just give me a call is an independent clause. When you are ready for our trip is a subordinate clause. So we say that this is a complex sentence. You can sit here but don't make noise. You can sit here is an independent clause. Don't make noise is another independent clause. So we say that this is a compound sentence. If your phone starts ringing at dawn, start preparing the breakfast. So if your phone starts ringing at dawn is a dependent clause. Start preparing the breakfast is an independent clause. So you've got a dependent clause and an independent clause. You say that these two, you say that this is a complex sentence. She cooked lunch for us and we washed the dishes when we finished eating. She cooked lunch for us is an independent clause. We washed the dishes is an independent clause. When we finished eating is a dependent clause. So this is a compound complex. We've got two independent clauses and one subordinate clause. She must love you or she would not call you last night. She must love you is an independent clause. She would not call you last night is another independent clause. So you remember for an obey. So or is a coordinating conjunction. So we say that this is a compound sentence. Good. We are so happy that we can't stop laughing. We are so happy is an independent clause. That we can't stop laughing is a dependent clause. So this is, you say, is a complex sentence. I hope it's not difficult. And now in the last examples, it says, are things worse, or are you sad that people have changed? So are things worse is an independent clause. Are you sad is another independent clause. That people have changed is a dependent clause. So you say that this is a compound complex sentence. Can I eat my food before it gets cold? Can I eat my food is an independent clause. Can I eat my food before it gets cold? So you've got can I eat my food, that is an independent clause. Before it gets cold is a dependent clause. So you say that this is a complex sentence. We've got an independent clause and a dependent clause. Then here, our parents take care of us because they love us. Our parents take care of us is an independent clause. Because they love us is a dependent clause. So we say, you see here, you've got an independent and a dependent clauses. So this is a complex sentence. True. Will not be your slaves, nor will we be humiliated. So you remember for an obey. So no is a coordinating conjunction. So we will not be your slaves is an independent clause. It is because of no that we say will we be humiliated instead of will we be humiliated instead of we will be humiliated. I hope you remember that. So you've got an independent clause and another independent clause. You say that this is a compound sentence, an independent clause and another independent clause. He doesn't make noise, nor does he disturb people when he's at home. So he doesn't make noise. This is an independent clause. Does he disturb people? Meaning he does disturb people, he doesn't disturb people. You know, it's just like the previous example. It's because of no that we have does he disturb people, does he disturb people, instead of he does disturb people. So this is an independent clause. 2, when he is at home is a dependent clause. So you've got 2 independent clauses and a subordinate clause. We say that this is a compound complex sentence. And our last example, which says don't sleep now. We should be able to remember even without any explanation. Exclamatory, imperative, declarative, and the rest. So this is one independent clause. You say that this is a simple sentence. Wow, I hope that you have now understood, or you can make, I hope that you can differentiate between a simple sentence and a compound sentence. You can differentiate between a complex sentence and a compound complex sentence. We say that now we have talked about a sentence, simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, a compound complex sentence. We've also talked about declarative, interrogative, exclamatory, and imperative. I hope that was great, and I hope that you enjoyed it. So I say until next time.